3, the second pillar. Welcome back to Giatti Glow, and welcome to week 3 of our Ikigai journey. I'm Barb Giatti, and I'm glad you're here. Every week we come together to grow and glow, learning to live more fully, more consciously, as we glow from the inside out. This is week 3 of 12 of the Giatti Glow Ikigai podcast series. If you're following along in my 12-week Ikigai book, that's fantastic. If you don't have the book, that's absolutely fine, but you will want something to write with and write on. If you'd like to get the book, just go to the About section of Giatti Glow where you found this podcast, and there will be a link to my 12 Ikigai Coach Sessions for Coaches and Individuals book on Amazon. Or you can just go to Amazon and search for Schnarr Coach. That's SCHNARR Coach. Schnarr is my maiden name, and that's what I use to write these books. You can support this podcast by buying any of my books or donating on Buy Me a Coffee. The links are in the Giatti Glow description and at the lifecoach.store. Also, it sure would help me out if you could like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Thanks. By now you may be starting to feel a subtle shift. Not a dramatic transformation, but an awareness. Last week, we explored joy and passion, reconnecting with what you love and remembering the parts of you that feel most alive. This week, we build on that foundation by turning towards something just as important and sometimes even harder to name, your strengths. This week is all about the second pillar of Ikigai, what you're good at. And before we go any further, let me say this. This is not about bragging or proving yourself, and this is not about comparison. This is about honest recognition. Knowing your strengths is a cornerstone of self-discovery. While passion brings joy and emotional energy, strengths bring stability, capability, and confidence. They are the places where efforts feel lighter, where competence feels natural, and where you tend to show up reliably, even on those difficult days. Your strengths are not limited to what you've learned in school or developed in your career. They also include personal qualities, relational skills, ways of thinking, and ways of responding to the world. Some of your most powerful strengths may not even have names yet, and that's the paradox. The strengths that shape your life most deeply are often the ones you overlook. Many people underestimate their strengths because they come so naturally and they feel so ordinary. You may think, oh, this isn't special, or anybody could do that. But what feels effortless to you can often feel overwhelming to someone else. Ease does not mean insignificance. Often it means alignment. Recognizing your strength matters for several important reasons. First, it builds self-awareness. When you understand what you do well, you stop guessing at your potential. You begin to see yourself more clearly and more realistically. Second, it fosters confidence. Confidence doesn't come from pretending you have no weaknesses. It comes from trusting your abilities and knowing where you stand strong. And third, it increases your impact. Your strengths are tools. They are how you contribute, support, solve problems, create value. When you use them intentionally, your efforts go further with less strain. When your strengths align with your passions, something shifts. Purpose stops feeling vague or aspirational. It becomes grounded. It becomes doable. Strengths come in many forms, and it's important to widen the lens as you explore them. Some strengths are hard skills. These are the tangible abilities you can point to, like writing or teaching or coding, designing, planning, analyzing, that kind of stuff. Some strengths are soft skills. These are often underestimated, but they're pretty important. Communication, empathy, listening, leadership, conflict resolution. By the way, we'll be doing a whole 12-week series on soft skills down the road. Some strengths are character traits. Things like resilience, curiosity, patience, integrity, being calm under pressure, reliability. And some are creative or intuitive talents. Things like artistic expression, innovative thinking, pattern recognition, storytelling, seeing connections others miss. No single strength defines you. It's the combination that matters. Your strengths work together, forming a unique pattern that belongs to only you. To begin uncovering your strengths, start with an observation. Ask yourself, what tasks tend to feel easier for me than they do for others? What do people consistently ask me for help with? When do I feel capable, steady, or grounded in myself? Often the answers are already present in your daily life, just sitting there repeating themselves. Now let's move on to a more intentional practice. This is called the strengths assessment. Begin with self-reflection. Take some time to write down at least 10 things you believe you are good at. Let this list be broad. Include professional skills and personal qualities and everyday abilities. If your inner critic shows up and tries to downplay your answers, notice it, but keep writing. Again, at least 10. If you have trouble thinking of 10, keep working on it. You absolutely have at least 10 things you are good at. Next, invite in an outside perspective. Ask 3 to 5 people who know you well to share what they see as your strengths. They might be friends or family members or coworkers. You can ask simple questions like, what do you think I'm naturally good at? Or, what do you come to me for advice or help with? Or what strengths do you see me using consistently? When the responses come back, read them slowly. Notice what surprises you. Notice what repeats. Repetition is important. It often points to strengths you've been carrying for years. Then compare your own list with their feedback. Look for overlap in patterns. These common threads are your core strengths, whether you fully claimed them before or not. Once you've done that, write a short paragraph summarizing your top strengths. Think of it as sort of naming what is already true. Set aside 15 to 20 minutes to explore these questions. What are my 3 top strengths? And how have they shaped my life so far? How do I feel when I'm using these strengths? Energized, calm, focused, confident. Are there strengths I've overlooked or dismissed because they felt too easy or not impressive enough? This isn't about inflating yourself. It's about seeing yourself accurately. Let me share a story with you. Priya is 29. She works as a teacher, and she felt stuck in her career and doubted her abilities. Despite working hard and caring deeply, she didn't see herself as particularly skilled or impactful. During her Ikigai journey, Priya completed a strengths assessment and asked her colleagues for feedback, and what she heard surprised her. Again and again, her colleagues named her creativity and leadership, qualities she had never even seen in herself. With this new awareness, Priya began stepping into a leadership role, helping develop innovative teaching methods. Over time, she realized that her deeper calling wasn't only teaching students, but coaching other educators. Her strengths aligned naturally with her love for creative problem solving and supporting others. She later described her work as a perfect blend of doing what I'm good at and what I love. And that blend is at the heart of Ikigai. Once you've identified your strengths, the next step is to bring them into action intentionally. So choose a strength you'd like to lean into this week, just one. Then brainstorm a few simple ways you'd like to use it in your daily life. And these don't need to be big, huge gestures or actions. If your strength is communication, maybe speak up more clearly, mentor someone, or share an idea you've been holding back. If your strength is organization, maybe bring order to a space or system that's been draining your energy. If your strength is empathy, maybe you could offer support in a way that feels natural and grounding to you. Then set a small, specific goal to apply this strength within the next week. Let it be manageable and let it feel human. As you do this work, you may notice some resistance in the forms of doubt or comparison. That little whisper of imposter syndrome telling you that you're not actually capable and that others are more deserving. If that happens, pause and remind yourself, recognizing your strengths does not make you arrogant, it makes you honest. One final practice that can help anchor this awareness is creating a strength statement. A strengths statement is a simple sentence that names what you bring and how you use it. For example, I am skilled at problem solving and communication, and I use these abilities to help people navigate challenges with clarity. This allows me to create understanding and forward movement. Take time to write your own. Keep it somewhere visible, not as a motivational slogan, but as a grounding reminder of who you are when you're aligned. And as we close today's episode, here's what I want you to take with you. Your strengths are not just skills. They are expressions of who you are. They are tools for contribution, connection, and transformation. You do not need to perfect or justify them. You just need to recognize and use them. This week, when you are notice when you are operating from your strengths and how it feels in your body. Notice when you hold back and be curious about why you're doing that. Awareness is enough. Next week, we'll explore the third pillar of Ikigai, which is what the world needs, and how your purpose expands when it connects with contribution beyond yourself. For now, let yourself acknowledge what you do well. That recognition is part of becoming whole. Giatti Glow is powered by the Life Coach Store, which is owned by me, Barb Giatti. On my website, you can find all kinds of great resources for over 20 types of wellness coaches. Check out thelifecoach.store for more information.